Well, this video introduces the average method, which can be used in understanding the percentiles concepts in a small data set. So first, before attempting to find the percentiles or the location of certain percentile, we need to order the data in the ascending order, which is, you need to order the data from smallest value to the largest value. And this is an example of 11 data points. So n equals to 11 for this data. And then here is the index of each of the value, just telling you the positions of each of the data value in this order. First, if you want to find the percentile of a given value x, we can use the ratio here to figure that out. So we first are going to find all the total of all the smaller data points compared to this value x, divided by the total data points, multiplied by 100. For example, we're interested in learning the percentile of 10, the value 10. So pick the first 10 value that is show up in the data, and then we're going to find how many the values, data points that is smaller than 10. So we calculate to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 smaller data points divided by the total number of data points, we get 63.6%. The interpretations of this percentiles is 63.6% of the data set is less than 10, which is the value that we're interested in learning about the percentile. First, the second task that we can do is, given any percentile y, piece of y, can you find the corresponding value in the data sets that correspond to the percentile y, right? So we can, but the first thing we need to do is we need to find the locations of this value using this formula here. And this formula is derived directly from this formula here. You take the percentile divided by 100, multiply by n, which is the total points. However, you need to add 1 just to be more precise in terms of the accurate positions of each of the percentile. In cases when we have repeated data like 10 in this data set, then adding 1 will make sure that you capture the more accurate positions of this percentile. So for example, finding the value that correspond to 35th percentile. So first we want to find the locations using the formula. The location is 4.2, which is not an integer. So in this case, if we're using the average method, we go into round 4.2 up to 5, so 5th. And then we're going to find the average of these two positions, 4 and 5th, right? So the position 4 is here, position 5th is here. So we're going to find the average of 5 plus 6 divided by 2 to get 5.5. So the answer for this questions is 5.5 is for the 35th percentile of this data set, or piece of 35 is about 5.5. Again, we are using the average method in order to find this value. So this means about 35% of the data sets that is fall below 5.5, the value 5.5. Keep in mind that we use the average method in smaller data sets. Okay, it's a common use for a smaller data set for 10, 20 data points. But as soon as you have a bigger data set, you can just round this number up to 5th, and you're using 5th as the locations for the 35th percentile. And in this case, 6 in the bigger data set, you don't need to use the average. You just need to use the next positions route the location up to the next integer and use that integer precisions in order to find the value that corresponds to the percentiles. Okay, so for a smaller data set, use the average. For a bigger data set, just use this value, this locations, not the average. All right, I hope this video is helpful for you to understand how to find the percentile of a certain value in a data set and finding, the corresponding value to a certain percentile in a data set.